Hello my friends, welcome to the metal shop. Part 2 of the Pete Townshend Eminence front Schecter Telecaster. That's a mouthful. So, if you recall last time, I know this was quite a while ago, I had routed for 2 humbuckers, and when I went to peel the tape, I peeled off a big piece of clear coat. This is a new body. I opted to just get another one. I was cheap enough, and this one, oddly enough, came, I want to say within a week. It's clearly made in China. I believe this is like a Squire product or something. But it was obviously already in the United States, ready for ship. Claimed to be the last one. I love that. I love buying the last one and seeing that the auction is still live because they've got more of them. Anyway, this one came with a humbucker route in the neck already, so bonus. So I did route for a humbucker here in the bridge. I did that. You already saw it with the last one. We don't need to show it again. I did learn how to take apart and put together my late 70s, early 80s Craftsman router because the vibration, you know, the housing kind of came apart and the motor came out in 2 pieces. So that was a learning experience. I thought I was going to have to get a new router, but no, ended up very serviceable. Took it apart, put it back together, and so much the better. So, routed, already painted with the conductive shielding paint right here. I got this cavity painted, this cavity painted. I had a little extra I threw in there. This was already painted. I put some here on a black guitar. I like to do that. Some guys just use a Sharpie or what have you, but that way you don't see the edge in the neck pocket. Ran the ground wire. I have the, this is made by All Parts. I thought it's a Goto, but it's sold by All Parts. I have the Tele bridge, black. Everything on this guitar is going to be black. And it's got tape on it because I've used this a couple of times now to locate that humbucker. And actually I made this cavity just a hair, probably a 1/16 on either side, shorter, so that it didn't stick out underneath the plate. So we'll see how I did here. Let's see, where's that hole? There it is. Oh yeah, that's way nicer. Yep, you're not going to see it. So nice. Anyway, 4 mounting screws right there. That's nice. Let's see, I have some really nice covered pickups here. I had wound. These are ceramic pickups, pretty powerful, but they are covered. And it's shiny because there is a plastic film on there as still. Super Rock pickups, which was the Schecter brand. I asked them to wind these as close to those specs as possible. Yeah, anyway, got a couple of those. They're going to look the part. Nice pickups there. So what I thought I would do is, I have a Philip McKnight Know Your Gear podcast all queued up on YouTube behind me. I thought we would go to the time lapse where I try and get this pickup mounted, this pick guard, and this pickup. None of the holes are drilled for the pick guard, but if you remember, the pick guard from previously doesn't quite line up against this plate here, so we are going to have to do a little bit of finagling there. It's customization, folks. This is what you get. Pretty nice. I've got a little bit of splatter from the shielding paint that does come off, but kind of just annoying when you find the little pieces there in the finish. Anyway, let's cut to the time lapse and start making this look like a guitar. I have a pre-wired, really nice Telecaster plate, you know, with the volume pots and the 3-way and, you know, Gavitt cloth wiring and air corrected capacitors, everything really nice. But before I wire that up, I am going to have to, doesn't include any instructions. You have to go to his website. So I don't think we'll get quite to there, but I'd like to get this and this mounted today. So anyway, let's go to that time lapse. Cool. All right, my friend. So this is probably a good spot, good place to stop for part two of the Pete Townshend Eminence front Telecaster. And you saw there in the time lapse, I had a little bit of issues, always, but with the pickups fitting, not this one, but this one. And what happened was, and I did this with a StewMac template, and I used this plate, but what I ran into was the pickups covered. And I didn't even realize this. This is actually a metal cover. This is a metal black cover, which is very unusual. I used my good old Seymour Duncan JB here. That's even an F-spaced. TB, Trembucker, to test it, and it fit in there just fine. Didn't take into account the cover. So you saw me use this, and this is for porting and polishing like automotive, like an intake or heads or whatever. But you saw me going at the corners to relieve that just a little bit to get me the room that I needed. And I did repaint it with shielding paint. You saw that. If you saw me drilling holes twice for the pickguard screws, I want to go over that. This finish is very tender. The clear coat on, as proven before when I ripped the piece off, is very tender. So what I did was I used a brad point bit first just to score, and this is bigger than I needed for the pickguard screws, just to score that circle and almost like a tiny little bit of a countersink before I drilled with a small drill bit. So that's why you saw me drill that twice. And if you look here, you can see that that's what I have done. And here, when you're close to the edge like that, you don't want that chip out. You think, oh, it's going to be covered. Like here, I started to get a little bit of chip out when I was easing the edge there for this pickup. I'm like, oh, it's going to be covered. Well, look at the gap. Look at that gap. And I thought that these butted up against each other, but they don't, just like a regular telly. There's a little bit of a gap. You saw me have to file this, all black pick guard, so that it would fit. We did that. What else? You saw me test fit the telly controls, and just look at that. I mean, that's a thing of beauty. Those are CTS solid shaft pots. We've got to just look at, this is the reason that I buy this stuff pre-done. Now I can wire myself and it will work, treble bleed built on there, and it will function and it'll last a lifetime, but it's never going to be as pretty as this. Test fit this up here so that we lined up our pick guard just right. I did use this as a countersink. I used it by hand on the back when I pounded in the ferrules, and you can almost see I had to remove a little bit of the finish here. Man, black is really a hard color. This is really just going to have to get polished here, because there are a bunch of very fine scratches, and even I can see this fine scratches in there, and that is from me doing what I'm doing right now, even with a clean rag. Anyway, so we tap those into place, and I work here on a terry cloth towel that I keep clean, try to keep clean, but when you're constantly drilling and, oh yeah, and I had to cut the pole piece screws, and I just cut them with some nippers because they're too long, even for the stock telly hole, and the one I drilled, even though I eased the holes there, still needed to be cut. You're going to run into stuff like that, but I think this thing is looking mint. I'm going to go up and look. Let me give the guy a plug. Guy's name is James Thomas from Atlantic Custom Guitars. Atlantic Custom Guitars is the guy who built this for me, and I believe it was on Reverb. And you can get this with a 5-way switch if you want. You can get it reversed. You can get all different kinds of switching options. I went with basic telly switching, not reversed. And that's what I went with. So the little things, again, Oh, and I used this on the back, which really, like I said, it kind of scored the circle just a hair, just a C hair too much. So you could kind of see it there a little bit, because I couldn't get my reamer in there to clean out that clear coat. That's really what I needed to do. Anyways, so it's a good stopping point. Next, we will get the we'll get this thing wired up. Easy peasy, no big deal. Have the neck. Hang on, I can show you that. Have the neck all logoed up. This is a tribute guitar. I'm going to tell everybody this is a parts caster, but the logo came out beautifully. And this is really going to look nice. Everything black, black, black. And I have black cloisons, which are choice for this. So anyway, as always, my friends, thank you so much for watching. Truly appreciate your support. If you enjoyed the video, please check out my channel. Tons of great content on there. Please hit me up in the comments. Still read all my comments, respond to every comment. And I will flame you if you're a troll. Don't get very many trolls, but they're still out there. Give me that thumbs up, please. Really helps the algorithm to push my videos. And look for part 3. Let's do it the German way, the European way. Look for part 3 soon of the Pete Townshend Eminence front Schecter Telecaster. Coming soon. All right, my friends, take care. Bye-bye.